you all for joining and tapping in. I want to introduce the God, the divine being in masculine and feminine harmony, supreme light to the world.
I share, I fully and deeply and thoroughly receive that love. And I give thanks for being here. Thank you for holding it down
Oh, we holding it up.
and holding it up together.
Yeah.
I say, I appreciate you for summoning me today to hold space about integration part 2.
Mm-hmm.
I love the break, the long stretch in between the last live that we did for integration, and because that's part of integration is being able to be present in that pause, to fully accept that that's what it is too, that in order for me to integrate, I need to pull myself away. I need to submit to inaction so my soul can calibrate and my energy can calibrate towards this new timeline that my mind and my spirit feel deeply already attracted to, or attached to. But it's like, okay, my body has to integrate the energy, so it does take time. And so I give thanks for you for summoning me to bring this back into presence.
Yes, thank you for joining me again. I'm very grateful and fortunate to connect with you, just for sharing the wisdom and insights, for inviting that harmony within myself, and then sharing with the people, with the youth, with those open to receive. That's what I've been integrating since our last chat, is really discerning what is what's coming up in the moment, and then also allowing those open to receive to connect. And when I do share, accepting everything for what it is,
Right.
accepting how it comes across, accepting how other people may feel or how they think. And I feel a lot more empowered of acceptance rather than the
Forcing.
the quote about like
Trying
don't
to.
care about what everybody thinks. It's like, okay, well, that's a thought that had crossed my mind. How can I care? Well, for me, I'm accepting it. It's not of within. It's something that exists, because I'm aware that my actions or my thoughts and my energy, interacts with those of other beings. And we're much more than, what we can see and hear.
Right.
However, if I just allow it to be what it is, I can just bring myself back to what I do want to focus on.
Right. Your truth and your center and what's actually available and present for you in that moment. And I find myself too in the space of no longer wanting to convince anybody of anything.
Mm-hmm.
No longer wanting to battle resistance with others because of the full acceptance that I've come to explore and accept within myself. And
Mm-hmm.
so I fully accept myself and I fully validate my own experience, my own life experience, because it is my life to live. Nobody else couldn't possibly validate my life experience for me because they aren't living it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm living my life experience, so I'm the most important validation for my life. And so that allows me to fully accept myself as I am, appreciate myself as I am, and to be able to sit back and observe that into others and allow and accept them as they are, and not convince them of what I think, of how I see them or what I think for them, convince them of how I feel they should be moving. No. You present to me where you are, and what it is for you, then I accept that, because
Mm-hmm.
that's your truth, and I accept you and your truth. However, if there's something that I don't really accept within myself, it is my responsibility, the ability to respond, responsibility to communicate my needs and my healthy boundaries and what I can't accept
Mm-hmm.
within their acceptance, what they're accepting. If what they're accepting is what I cannot accept, it is my responsibility and my sovereign power to voice that in a respectful, direct, and loving manner,
Mm-hmm.
because we can appreciate each other's journey, appreciate where each other is, and we don't have to be in competition energy trying to force things to be what it's not.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that's where the suffering comes in, is because we just continue to try to force something into something that it's not in that moment. It might have the potential to bloom and blossom into something else, but in that exact moment, it is not for you to try to convince it into blooming sooner than it's ready to bloom.
Ah, ah, that resonates so deeply.
That
Um,
creates more friction and resistance and more suffering within ourselves.
right. Yeah, I couldn't imagine, you know, having avocado seed and soaking it and, peeling the outer husk and
Right.
just planting it upright and then expecting it to have a fresh avocado within the week or a few days or even, a few weeks at that point.
Right.
So just allowing the connection, allowing the present moment to fully entice me or deflect me, I feel like is definitely, I'm more aware of it in the moment.
Right. I rather for it to reveal to me, instead of me trying to dissect and try to project. Just reveal to me what it is that you most need for me to see and understand and integrate and apply in this moment. And I feel like that's the introduction that you introduct me. You introduced me as the embodiment of the divine masculine and feminine energies in tandem, in union, in unison. And I thoroughly appreciate that, because I do focus on that, and I feel like that's a reflection of the allowance, the receiving, and allowing the universe or the divine to show me, or just the moment in these interactions to reveal to me how I must respond next after what's been revealed.
Mm-hmm.
And to operate from that space, you have to be in this, you have to be merged with their masculine and feminine energies, knowing when to exert your energy and when to just receive and allow things to reveal itself, and then you move from inspired action. And I
Mm-hmm.
feel like that brings so much more harmony in our energy, and that builds more energetic momentum for us wanting to do more things, wanting to be better, wanting to be the greats that we are, because we have that harmonious momentum building up in ourselves, encouraging us and inspiring us to do more and to be our full expressions.
I agree.
Explore
I
that.
agree fully. I agree fully. And the way that you're eloquently, sharing yourself, it shows that, you take the time and make the time and create the space for those revelations to fully flourish. And what I admire most is the creative collaboration, and I'm accepting that as much as I feel, you know, limitless and boundless, as far as my purpose or what I can lend is not being you. It's not being you know, like you said, someone that I'm not.
Mhm.
And what I feel like that means for me is that when I'm following the emotional and the inspired action, it doesn't look like pleasing everyone. It doesn't look like volunteering for every opportunity. It doesn't look like accepting every opportunity that comes. And as much as I sometimes like
Right.
feel energy like use me like I'm, you know what I'm saying, just volunteering, that suffering has happened, and there's not really, you know, a necessary repeated suffering if you're just doing the same things. If I'm doing the same things over and over,
Right.
same results, if there's not space for, if I'm not creating the space to integrate and learn those lessons, then I'm literally spinning my wheels, you know, and not getting anywhere.
Right. But the divine does give us divine opportunity for us to exercise these ability to exercise these abilities to integrate them, because at the least moment, at the least times that we feel that we're ready to exercise them, or it's like the opportunity is given to us all the time, you know, to practice that or not, to choose.
Choose.
Are we choosing from our soul space that resonates deeply with our soul, and it supports our soul energy and essence to be more alive and more relevant in this space? Or are we feeding our egos and just mindlessly, or not really involving our soul in our decisions and our
Mm.
choices that we're making? So we're just choosing and choosing and choosing, and then kind of just dealing with the after a math. You know what I mean? Like, dang, all right, I'm gonna do the cleanup work later. I'm gonna do
Right.
it later. But then it just it drains your soul. It taxes your soul. The more you choose like that, you're taxing and taxing and taxing your soul
Mm.
on your soul, and then you feel so weak and depressed and so tired and drained and depleted and like depleted of creative energy that you don't you're not really clear in making decisions from your soul. You know,
Mm.
you're more just, now you're in the momentum and focus and investing all your energy in your in what your ego wants for you, you know. So but I feel like bringing them together is important, because having a healthy relationship with our ego is having a healthy relationship with the knowing of who we are and what we need.
Yes.
And like I was gonna say, like, if you said something about taking time to integrate, if you don't take the time to integrate, then you're doing yourself a big disservice, and you're just kind of like continuing to exist in the rat race. And so in these moments that come up with people, that gives us the opportunity to integrate in that moment of how we respond, because we can be in our rooms and we can be in these spaces, you know what I mean, of solitude, and claim to be integrated as much as we want to,
Mm.
right? But the true tangible evidence of this integration will always show up in the midst of conflict or controversy or interactions with others, because we're actually, that person, that mirror is standing there firm to show us, reveal to ourselves where we really are, to be honest with ourselves.
Mm.
We can be able to utilize that as an opportunity,
Yeah.
see how much healing that we've actually done for ourselves, and celebrate ourselves in that moment through our response.
Yes. I agree fully. That reminds me of another part that I've been integrating.
Yeah.
I feel like the energy has been so high for me that
Yeah.
I've been sacrificing rest. in order to integrate more, like you
Right.
said, like feeling like I'm doing my integration when
Right.
actuality I'm doing more work.
Right. Right.
And I feel like the rest for me is so important because I've always been conditioned, or I always felt like I was a so-called night owl, or someone that preferred being up late. And I accept the parts of me that are affinity to darkness and things like that. However, as I mature, I value the circadian rhythm and the flow of nature. How even without just wanting to be or trying to be perfectly in sync, but how it just guides you naturally to be able to integrate. So even just talking about peaceful rest is really important for me, just to allow certain parts of the body and the mind to have a break. If I'm sitting up studying these things that fulfill me all night, this it starts to tip the scale the other way.
Yeah.
And it could becomes overindulgence, and then at that point, I've already made it another uphill battle when it comes to that interaction, like you were saying, when it comes to that pressure moment, or that that opportunity to choose and to celebrate your integration and progression. I've made it a little bit more friction by not even just allowing the body to have its own reset, and to accept all the information I'm allowing in what I'm.
Right. I agree. I actually, that's part of finding your footing in the dance, in a way, in the dance of blending these energies together harmoniously, because then you'll be so inspired to act that you do forget to relax your energy and rest it. So it's like a balance between inspired action and relaxation. Inspired
Mm,
and relaxation, reset. And then that allows you to stretch further. And I feel like this is like energy management, which is AKA self mastery. And I do feel like how you're saying, like I'll be like a night owl, but then I also wake up early in the morning. I have children, so it's like I can be up all night and then wake up in the morning and then still have energy. But like how you said, that's not powerfully building that momentum that I really want. It's just more so like working harder
mm,
instead of working smarter. So understanding that I can't leave out one aspect of myself and only hyper focus on the other aspects of creating in the physical. Because then I'm only paying homage to my masculine now, because I'm just overdoing. I'm doing, and I'm neglecting my feminine aspect because I'm not meeting her in rest. You know,
mm,
and then I really don't have any energy to give to anybody else. So it is part of it. That's what it is of self mastery, is for us to acknowledge when our body needs to rest, and tell our brain, like, okay, I'm overriding you. We're gonna rest and reset and begin again. And being okay with that, being okay with honoring ourselves, being
mm,
okay with learning to live a life that honors ourselves rather than honoring the circumstances outside of us. Because when we honor ourselves, then we can better position ourselves in any circumstance.
mm,
Because it is about energy work and energy alignment first. So rest is a very important part of integration. And I can say that I was neglecting it because I was just too inspired and studying and doing all this, be having all this kundalini energy activating me. But
yeah.
it can burn you out. All that fire energy will burn you out if you don't rested. It's kind of like if you have your phone plugged in for so long and you're always on your phone and it's still plugged in to the cord. And then when you take it off, now it won't hold the charge for so long.
Mm.
So there is times of down periods that is very important to just drop off the face of the earth a little bit, you know what I mean? And be okay with it.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Two things that just vibrated on the high level as you were speaking was the dance, and as we were illustrating, this marriage and this relationship, it just reminds me of connecting with the breath, the inhalation, the exhalation, the accepting, the letting go, and also your physical dance, which I love to see that you share freely and so passionately. I've been experimenting with movement by incorporating yogic. I like to say yogic because I've been allowing it to adapt other things to it as well, but yogic practices before I start my day. And
Right.
it's huge for me just because one, allowing certain you know, um, physical uncomfortableness
Right.
to be, better managed, and then, having that time to exert some energy, that I feel so full of.
Right.
So at that point when I'm interacting, you know, um, I feel I can come into it with some more balance and really, be ready for whatever. If I'm gonna be mentally challenged, okay, I've settled the mind. If I'm gonna be physically challenged, okay, I've opened up the energy channels. I've relaxed my heart rate, and I just feel like it's been working wonders. I don't even think it's been a whole, 30 days so
Right.
far, but I've been seeing the changes, like
Right. Rapidly.
awareness of my phone and, like, emails and things like that. But literally, today I had to just call somebody back. Like, I'm sure that what they had to say was important, and it really was, but I was in my practice. I was in my daily practice that I said I would commit myself to, and that I've been seeing results. And when
Right.
I make myself a priority, like you said, honoring the self, it just, I was able to go in that conversation with much more ease. I had already had an idea of what it was going to be about. It was totally different, but still having that time for myself just, created so much more ease to say, I'm ready, I'm prepared, and then I can still go about my day regardless of if it was a good time for them or not. And, it just fell into alignment.
And I agree. And I feel like respecting each other's, it's like being able to respect each other's journey, and to respect that your time might not be my time, or my time might not be your time at this time, And um, this actually just came up with, things not really aligning time wise with me and certain individuals, that we were supposed to collaborate and do something, and I know that we are all going through our integration processes right now, so that there's heavier energies that makes it more, I guess, more difficult to show up.
Mm-hmm.
And so I respect that space within, our integration processes. At the same time, though, like how you said, you must still honor your time, you know and and be able to communicate how you feel about that, communicate where you are, and to be okay with, if you're ready, it's okay to communicate that you're ready even if they're not ready.
Mm.
And it's okay to feel confident and not guilty to that you're ready and they're not ready. And it's okay to still hold space for them to prove to themselves, to show that themselves that they're ready to be ready when they're ready, you know?
Yeah.
And still feel confident in yourself through that process, and feeling confident for them knowing that they're going to show when it's time for them to show up.
Mm.
And I feel like that's very empowering for everybody involved, you know, because sometimes we might get upset when people flake on us and things don't go like they renege on their word and they say they're going to do something and they don't do it. But we have to have these things in mind, like how you said, you know, their energy might not be, there's other factors going on pulling at them, and we understand these things. Yes, there's things pulling at us too, but our choices is showing like how are we combating these pullings, right?
Mm.
So we shouldn't feel guilty because we're handling it in the way that we're handling it and they're handling it in the way that they're handling it, but to just hold space um for that acknowledgement, to be okay, to show that I respect myself where I'm at right now, and I respect you where you're at right now, and that's okay, you know. And so that was something that I've been really looking at within myself, and how do I interact when those disappointment energies come up? How
Mm.
do I how am I responding towards them, and like being able to be more, bring more grace and more, how can I say, presence,
Mm.
just more presence, and soften my energy in that moment, but also still be stern in what I will accept and what I won't accept in my sight.
Yes. 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 That brings to my mind's eye, really to my heart space of integration that I practiced last night. Um, I made an open request to some partners of mine, and we usually, have a group chat, where it's very free flowing. Sometimes it's informal, sometimes it's super formal, and I made a request. It wasn't a direct question, but I definitely feel like, you know, it was something that could be easily acknowledged, maybe in a certain time space, and that definitely resonated with me as far as just accepting, okay, what the time and space for me is may not be the same time space for someone else, and then also allowing myself to just be in that moment, and um, really integrate what I was requesting. And then once I allowed that to happen, and I felt the emotions coming up of feeling impatient, or feeling, the request was unresolved,
Right.
accepting that, and then taking it a step further and honoring the need to be acknowledged. So holding space for myself and for the other people I was joined in with conversation with, and then still, at an appropriate time when I feel like it could be met with grace, saying, you know, this is what it is. It would be nice for me, in so many words, if this could be acknowledged. So that was me, giving myself
Right.
that completion that I was desiring. So detaching from the outcome of the expectation of, receiving this information, and then also saying, okay, you know, honest, just keep it a band. I wanted the same respect that I was giving out, you know.
beautiful integration, showing yourself that you know who you are, you know the love energy that you embody, and the spirit that you hold, and you know that that deserves to be acknowledged in its divine light. And why wouldn't it? Why not? Right? And that's you accepting yourself and you showing others how you are to be, I don't want to say treated, but just, you know, that that's what's going on in your cipher. So if you would like to join me here in this cipher, this is what we're doing here.
Mm-hmm.
And if you can't, or not, if you just basically, and if that isn't in alignment with you, that's okay. And I accept, and
Fine.
I accept, and I appreciate you for being able to have the courage to acknowledge that and communicate that to me too, that it's not in alignment for you right now. You're not in alignment, we're not in alignment. And I respect you and I appreciate you and I acknowledge you, and I validate this experience of us both being able to acknowledge that this is not in alignment, and it's okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I respect you as you are, and I allow the respect that you have towards me too, and that's harmonious relationships too.
Mm-hmm.
That's harmoniously relating the energies by acknowledging and identifying that we are not in alignment, and it's okay. But energy is fluent, and it's always it's always evolving. So that doesn't mean that we aren't in line. We're never ever going to be in alignment, but this means that we are allowing the divine to show us and reveal to us what is in alignment, and to choose that best for ourselves, and mirror to the universe that, okay, my vision is intact. I know that this is for me. I know that I'm in alignment. I'm choosing my alignment. I'm choosing all things in alignment, and all things in alignment is choosing me, and that is where I want to be.
You're right.
That's
Exactly.
okay. We don't have to convince nobody to be in alignment. If they're not ready to be in alignment, we don't got to convince ourselves to be in alignment. If we're not in alignment, we start from self acceptance, radical self honesty of where we really are, and to clearly communicate that. Oh, I say confirmation. And that creates so much more joy and happiness in accepting your reality, and not avoiding or dismissing your reality of what's being revealed to you.
Mm. I love that. That's you spoke the word straight from my heart, because I was feeling, this illustration of, and I want to do this visibly like cool, but
That's
pong, like the pong, when
yes,
pieces are just bouncing the ball back and forth. And I feel like that acknowledgement is, okay, the ball is going this way. I'm acknowledging the energy, and then, like you said, it flows, so it's gonna have a trajectory to change. And once the other, the other party is acknowledging the same, or how the energy flows in a different direction,
right,
there's dance. And then, like you said about that, one may be in a different area, or even just have a different perspective, but it's still that acknowledgement that creates, that keeps the dance going, that keeps the game going. And then, if and when, in this perfect alignment, it literally just bounces back and forth with no effort, with no, restraint, no restriction, and just, perfect flow. So
right,
I'm grateful that one, that's a possibility, because at times I have felt like I have thought I have thought myself into an emotional state where You know, only the majority of the thoughts were, okay, I just gotta, just let the ball pass and it'll be fine. Instead of like I hit the ball as hard as I could. You know what I'm
My
saying? You know, but
this
it's like acknowledging that that's a possibility. It even just brings warmth to my heart space right now.
yes,
Okay, when the possibilities are, you know, accepted to be something that I could really desire at the same time as being, possibility of not matching that, then I feel like, okay, well, I feel like it's easier. My inner child is like holding on to something, and I feel like it's easier to let it go, so to speak, at that point. Because when it seems one sided, it just feels like, well, I gotta fix this before, I gotta make it into, a certain way before I can, be satisfied.
right. I feel like knowing that we have options
Mm-hmm.
is important. And when we know that we have options, I'm not saying more so like options and people, or I got him, I got her. No, it's more so I have options of choosing. I have different options of realities to choose.
Mm-hmm.
There, what this reality, this present timeline that's showing me, that's being revealed to me right now, is not the only option. This is a comma, it's not a period. So viewing my life like that and my choices as commas, not periods.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, okay, this might be the current energies that's surrounding me right now, but this is an option, and there's still other options to choose other energies that I would like to choose other energies that are more in alignment with my energies to harmoniously dance together and build those momentums together. That's
Mm-hmm.
still an option. And that allows me to be more encouraged, more inspired, and not feel more bogged down in the depressed energy, having to just think that this is the ends all be all. This is the only thing I have to just suffer in this misalignment. No, we have options.
Mm-hmm.
We have options by choosing ourselves to be in the right energy, to put ourselves in the right type of energies, clear out the misaligned energies in our space, starting within ourselves and our thought process. Like how you said, you thought up these emotions, you thought up these energies and emotions surrounding you, thinking and keep perpetuating all of these only options, and these are not the only options.
Right.
So when we allow ourselves to get out of our mind and overthinking these emotions and really allow ourselves to cleanse all those out the way, right? Like we cleanse it through it, like the dance, like how you said, moving our body, going out, connecting in nature, getting these energies out of our cipher that create chaos and create distractions. It helps us to be more clear of what energies truly support our cipher,
Mm-hmm.
and 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 how we truly support other energies as well, in that cipher. So I feel like all in all, this whole integration part one was interesting for me, because integration part one was more like the acknowledgement that my mind wasn't in the right space, not knowing that my mind was negative in a way, not knowing, not being able to identify and see the ways that I not seeing how the ways that I was thinking and moving was in detriment of myself and those around me. So integration part one for me was being able to have that identification, acknowledgement of my thought processes. And then integration part two came, okay, after cleansing that, now integrating the new thought processes of what do I want, who I am, and what do I need, and listening to my soul now, you know, and acknowledging, integrating accepting where I'm at, so I can move forward and build upon that, and make the necessary steps and movements to propel myself where I would like to be.
Mm. I agree. That's definitely a you know what we call a divine reflection. I feel so much of my experience in the last few years has been the learning of how our thoughts can create these experiences or be a part of the equation, but then really taking the time to ask self and acknowledge the
Yeah.
thoughts that are happening the majority of the time, then I can be taking accountability,
Mm,
and then I love how you always phrase it, the responsibility. So then once that accountability comes, then you can have that responsibility to either create change or to empower or to reinforce or dismantle. And then now in the space of, okay, these are the specific areas in my physical body that I can connect with. This is how it feels like to listen to my soul. This is what it
mm,
this is what the experience it feels like to for it to work for me
yeah.
in the sense of, all right, I didn't take this opportunity that came, even though I do desire physical wealth. This other opportunity came right after it because of the choice that I made to follow.
To honor yourself in integrity, because
Mm-hmm.
what, in the word integration is integrity, the integrity to self, the integrity
Yes.
of our soul.
Yes.
And when we are in integrity energy with our souls, we are
Yes.
in integration with all of who we are, and all of who we are we will be supported in everything that we need, because we are in integrity to our souls, in
Mm.
integration with all that is. So we're always being given what we need,
Mm.
and we don't have to stretch ourselves and get out of our bodies and like to try to chase anything no more, because
Mm.
in integrity, and in integrity everything comes to us.
Yeah, that reminds me of this journey that I'm accepting as a part of myself, that I just rely so much on these personal affirmations that I have for myself. And I'm integrating some of those as well because I feel in this moment in space they're needed.
Right.
However, the integrity
Hmm.
should be and could have been the priority. And let's just lean towards the integrity is the priority, because everything else that you desire or that you want to align with follows suit with that integrity to self. So you just cracked the whole integration code for sure.
It's funny, I was actually speaking to beautiful soul grounded
Mm.
Thomas. I appreciate all of y'all for showing up, tapping in, tuning in,
Yeah.
being, showing up for yourself, because when you show up for you, you allow others to show up for themselves too. You showing up for you, Lon, allowed me to continue to show up for myself and show up for whoever else needs to have these messages and of confirmation, because you already know who you are, you already know what it is you need. But when we show up, we remind each other to keep showing up, and the purpose and the power of continuing to show up and to not give up of
Mm.
these energies that are trying to push us back down. Because when we're on the rise, do we think that it's going to be easy, that oh, I got it now, I'm up here, nothing's gonna phase me and affect me now? No. That is the most important time for you to continue to push forward, because there's energies are going to be trying to push you down even more powerfully, even more difficult. They say that the greater devils, you know what I mean? Like when you rise, greater demons and stuff like that. So it's like, and it mainly comes from inside ourselves. So
Mm-hmm.
it's like a challenging of our perspective of, do we really believe in ourselves and know ourselves to the degree of which we're projecting out to the world and showing the world? Do we really honestly know ourselves at that level, or do the outside world know us more than we know ourselves? So it's kind of interactions. It gives us the opportunity for us to show ourselves, nah, I know who I am.
Mm-hmm.
I know what's in my heart. I know the power and the energy and the abilities and capabilities that I have to gift to the world and humanity and my life, period. So
Mm-hmm.
nothing can stop me, and nothing will disrupt my momentum that I'm building.
Right.
That's the type of energy that we must continue to build within ourselves and keep that, because there's going to be days that we committed to doing something, and then that day come and we don't show up. But guess who that really affects more than anybody else? Who's who's disappointed on the outside because you didn't show up? Yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And yourself is going to hold you accountable and make you feel like crap until you redeem yourself to yourself.
Yes.
Yourself who you really are.
Right. Yeah, I love that. I love that, and what that looks like for me is reiterating, because I'm programming myself as we speak, of
Yes.
that integrity coming first.
Yes.
Because if the integrity doesn't come first, then the process that you're speaking of is just going to be built upon guilt and distractions and unfulfilled desires and the
Oh,
frustration. Because if I'm saying that that I believe in myself and I trust in my divine abilities, and my mission is not in alignment, or my current mission is not in alignment, no matter if I pass the first test or whatnot, everything is going to be on that faulty foundation. But like you said, when you said settling yourself, and you already aligned and cleansed what needs to be cleansed, when you go forth, you feel that support, you feel that boost, you feel that sustainable energy to go past whatever threshold it may be. Because regardless of if you feel like you're doing your life's purpose, or you feel like you're just making a choice to get by at the moment,
right.
there's going to be a time to where you have to get to the next level. And like you said, of how can you sleep at night? What is yourself saying? We can truly rest.
Right.
And that's separate from
Right.
I guess what we would call the normal stresses or anxieties that come and go. But those deep things that that will cause you to lose sleep, or will cause you to just feel like there's so much pressure. So when you come back to yourself, as you eloquently put it just gives you so much peace in and of itself. I practice breath work. I practice, listening to frequencies and, different calming music. But if I'm not allowing myself to come back to me, then all of the external stuff is just, is literally more static, more noise.
More working harder, working
Hmm.
ourselves. We must befriend ourselves and make ourselves the main best friend, main companion, main consort, you know,
Hmm.
cons- consulting in ourselves. We must consult in ourselves and ask ourselves, is this in alignment for me? You know what I mean? Is this in integrity to my soul?
Hmm.
It's a no. Why am I okay with that? And if I'm not okay with that, why is my action showing that I'm okay with that?
Hmm.
And well, no wonder why I feel like crap. No wonder why I feel depressed. No wonder why I feel like a fraud. And No wonder why I can't be a good friend. Or no wonder why I don't want to engage and communicate with others. Because you're not even communicating with yourself and consulting with yourself.
Right.
And it makes it more difficult to try to have any energy to put on a happy face or hold space for anyone that you don't even have the capacity for yourself. You're not holding space for yourself. So it is not for us to guilt and shame ourselves even more to keep us to bury us deeper in a darker hole. It is for us to acknowledge it for our freedom. For our
Knowledge.
freedom. Acknowledge
For freedom, yes.
to set ourselves free. To be like, aha, you're right. I love you. Why wouldn't I consult in you? Why wouldn't my actions be integrity with my soul? Why wouldn't I want to honor you, self? You are important. Your voice does matter. Your wisdom does contribute to elevation of community, of consciousness. Period. You are important.
Period.
Period. Don't ever forget this. And this is how we must develop our relationships with ourselves. And it takes time. And it's okay to not feel, it's okay to be mad at yourself sometimes and be like, bro, you know you did not accept that. You know that was not you. You know you don't be acting like that. You know you would not act like that if you truly was honoring yourself and coming from your heart space. But you know what? It's okay. Because that's how we learn and we grow. And you're human. That's your human aspect. And I give thanks for your courage to wanting, courage, brave heart, to wanting to do, to honor ourselves and integrate a more authentic expression. We're not going to give up here and just be like, oh, I made all these horrible decisions or whatever, and now I'm not nothing, and I'm just going to accept that now. No, because that's not our truth. That's just that was just a byfactor. That was like a effect, a side effect. But our truth is our souls of who we really are, right? Our truth is that we are deserving and worthy of showing ourselves We don't have to show anybody anything. We don't have to prove anybody nothing. We just we have, that's not what's gonna make us happy, you know?
I love it. I love it. I feel like giving myself a hug right now.
That's so perfect.
Like a self hug, you know.
Yes, let's take a breathing break together. Everybody who's still tapped in here, I appreciate your soul. I love who you are. Energetically, I can feel you, and I can say that I love you, who you are, and that be true because it's energy, right? And you showing up for yourself is obviously, you showing up here right now, obviously, is showing that you love yourself and you're willing to continue to grow in that light, because that's something that I'm focused on. And that's something that Lon is focused on too. So we give thanks for everybody who's here right now in this moment of now. Continue to rise above all the static and continuing to be that relaxed energy within your own space to see the bigger picture and stay clear and stay focused and stay vibrant and stay alive throughout any distractions. I give thanks for you showing up right now for yourself and inspiring me to continue to show up. Asheo.
I say, oh, give thanks. Much gratitude. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for sharing space, for holding space, creating space, for channeling the inner wisdom and insights and the vulnerabilities in the moment, for being a creative channel and a receptive channel as well, for just, sharing the energy. It's invaluable and it's value Or I feel like this definitely is a good point to
Yes.
integrate this
Yes.
conversation and collaboration. You
Yes.
gave a few benedictions, and if anyone would love to support and you know just show gratitude, where can they get in touch with you?
So I'm everywhere. I'm everywhere, like the Matrix. No, but my name is Venus Sublime, and you can find me on YouTube if you would like to donate any energy, likes, subscriptions, or whatever. It's more so I'm in gratitude for receptivity. Everything that I share from my soul space. So when others put themselves in the space where they're allowing themselves to receive and be in receptivity energy, that does so much for me. That feels really good to my soul and my spirit. So I'm open to receive anything, any donations, positive energy, any type of anything that is of positive momentum my way. I'm open to receive that. And I'm open to claim that for myself because I know that I'm deserving of that support.
Okay.
I'm deserving of that support now, and I'm okay with saying that now and claiming that into my existence. I deserve. I don't even say deserve. I accept. I accept the support. And I empower you all to accept the support too. Because you're not alone. We're not alone. We're all in this together. We're all vibrating at different perspectives to perfectly mirror each other where we need to adjust so we can
Mm.
continue to rise together. So you can find me everywhere. Venus Sublime on YouTube, here on Instagram, Venus Sublime, TikTok,
We need
Sublime.
to get you those verified checks because they definitely, your energy is beautiful. Let's just say that. Thank you
Uh,
for just making yourself a priority, for accepting the support, and especially out to the youth them because
yeah,
that's super big. That's super huge, and it's relevant from my experience right now.
yeah.
So,
I'm a huge advocate for the youth. If you don't know me, that's my main focus is the super beings. I call my children super beings, because that's what they are. And the children actually, the youth the youth really needs us. The youth really needs us to integrate and to do what we're into, to honor ourselves. The youth really needs to see us loving ourselves. The youth needs to see us cleaning up our streets, cleaning up our hearts. The youth needs to see us being vulnerable and being okay with accepting that power of vulnerability. The youth needs to see us,
mhm,
see us, unity mind. So we are not going backwards or being losers to take downtime to integrate. The youth needs to see that. The youth needs to
mhm,
see slow down and relax. The youth needs to see what's really important. The youth needs to see what is true value and what is quality
mhm.
instead of quantity. And so through our examples, that's how a nation will be rebuilt and be born. You know what I mean? Through this energy. So I give thanks for that. I give thanks for you holding this space of integration and reflecting this light and integrated darkness together. And
Mhm.
12 on the clock right now, open portals. Open portals for us to continue to rise and ascend together. And so I just want to encourage y'all, just because y'all see me in this energy right now today, that does not mean that, you know what I mean, it just came out of nowhere. I've been actually putting all my focus and my energy towards this integrating this energies and being gentle with myself through the process and acknowledging and accepting. So I want to encourage you, even if you're not in this space right now today, that does not, this is a comma. It is not a period. Continue. continue. Do not give up on yourself. Show up, continue showing up. Like I said, I will always say the same thing. Thank you for showing up for yourself today. Because when you show up for yourself today, you allow me and others, you inspire us to continue to show up too. And that's what community really is about. And so I give thanks for that. And I give thanks for you showing up, and I feel it and I see it and I acknowledge that and I validate this experience.
Gratitude. Thank you for observance, the acknowledgement, the charge, and then empowerment. Until we connect again,
Gang, gang.
be in unison and harmony of self.
Yes. Yes. Mother, father, son, daughter. I say.
I say
So much love.
peace, much love, everyone.
Peace. Thank you so much.
Happy full moon.
I say. Y'all know what to do about that. Celebrate yourself in your fullness.
I say.
I say.